How much money can you make online in your first year if you really go for it? If you're prepared to work hard and do the things that we teach you here at the E-Business Institute? Well, today's amazing couple on today's Digital Investor podcast have made over $160,000 in their first year online. So what we are going to do is find out how they did that. But more importantly, and even more excitingly, what I want to do today for you is share with you their second year journey. Because of course, for a couple like Derek and Courtney who are really going for it, they're not content to sit back with just that 160 grand. They're doing even better now. So let's unpack what they've done. Want to show you what they've done in their second year. Also, how they managed to manage their family life, because these two amazing parents have two young kids. So they've done this all while raising their kids. And let's also have a look at what's the future. What main strategy are they going to be following going on into the coming years? So Derek and Courtney, thank you so much to come on to Digital Investor today to celebrate your legendary effort.
Thank you. Great to be here again.
You guys, you got to be super proud of your result. $160,000 in your first year. Okay, wow moment. So you announced this, what was it, publicly at our Digital Investors Summit just recently, and it is really cool. So what were you doing, just for those that haven't heard, because you were on our podcast earlier when you were achieving that, what was your position before you started with us at E-Business Institute?
Me first. So I was corporate sales. So yeah, I was clicked over 10 years working in corporate sales and marketing, and what was working for government.
Yeah, I worked in mental health.
And both of you had pretty senior roles, is that right?
Correct. Yeah, correct. And lots of travel. Hence wanting to, change life.
Started a family, senior corporate roles. I'm guessing, like all of us here at all the champions at E-Business Institute, or anyone on a digital investor program, bit burnt out, would you say?
Definitely. Yeah. I was on a plane a lot, Matt. So having two young kids, definitely, I've been thinking about wanting to start our own business for a long time. Cool. And so, yeah, really, really glad that we did.
Yeah, well, so's everyone listening to this podcast, Derek. I'm sure that's a bit of an understatement, isn't it? You're glad you did, because in your first year. So what did you focus on
Yep.
What did you focus on? What was the key strategy you focused on when you first started with us?
So I think even before quite early on, we realized that we needed to replace income. And so we felt like for us, starting the digital agency was going to be the strategy. So we went all in from day one. And it was hard because you see all the success stories of other strategies, but that was ours. So we dialed in really quickly to that.
Yeah, and so also, Derek, we should mention what you did work-wise at the time as well. So there's context for anyone listening to this. If they're thinking, okay, what can I achieve if I'm prepared to work my butt out?
Yeah.
What happened work-wise for you too?
Yeah, so took time off. So I left my job, or I quit my job after I clicked over 10 years or my long service. So we had a bit of a cash buffer there. And it was a calculated risk because, it was a scary one. But at the end of the day, I felt like I could always go back to my role. And I didn't want to have to, this is just for us, didn't want to have to, build a business when I was fatigued, because it was pretty hard yakka and doing a couple of hours a night. I thought, you know what, we can get a better result if we go all in and can actually, devote as much time as I could when I'm fresh. And that was kind of supported by Court, of course.
Well, and I'm going to ask you the same thing in a minute, but I would like to point out for our listeners, Derek and Courtney, you heard what Derek just said, go all in. These guys went all in. And this is what I want to show you on today's podcast, what happens when, as like Derek says, you go all in and you work your butt off. And so, Courtney, for you, talk about going all in. What were you doing in your first year?
I was working full-time for the majority of it. So when Derek... we started this journey, I was returning to work from maternity leave. So I decided to go back to work full time to be able to support Derek, and then working 9 till 5 and then come home, look after the kids. And then when they would go down, I would be working at the night time to all hours. But that was that was our life for 12 months, but it was great. Like to be able to do that and to be able to be hands-on in the business while doing that, just making that time. I eventually dropped back to part-time. I think it was like 6 months that I was able to drop back to part-time.
Oh yeah.
And then full-time by the end of year one.
Yeah, then full-time by the end of
year one. Woohoo! So in summary, for your first year, you guys worked your butts out. You literally burnt, we call it the midnight oil. So Courtney, especially you. So you were what was your main role then, Courtney? So you come home from working your butt out.
Mm-hmm.
You're a mum raising the 2 kids along with Derek there. And in the evening, what sort of work were you doing to build this business and to get that amazing result?
Building websites overnight time.
Go Courtney.
So that was my niche. Building websites. Derek was doing the content and the SEO side of things, and I'd come home and get the website
and the sales. And so, guys, at this point, we have to. So in our community, if you're new to our community, we have what's called the Champions Cup. If you're on the Champions program, these guys, these 2 here, I'm sure you would agree, are our very deserving winners that year of the Champions Cup, because you hit. We'll make it official on this podcast. It is public now. These guys hit $160,000 in their first year. That has never been done in the history of Champions in the first year. Absolutely mind-blowing, guys. Seriously, well done. Like when you look back, like, are you super proud of what you achieved? You better be.
Oh, yeah. 100%. And it's like, it doesn't feel like that though, because, you're building a business and, you're still paying tax and living and all that, but it's certainly, it's super cool to look back, and when we've have our, catch ups on our business and we've looked back, we're like, wow, didn't think. And I remember some coaching calls where we're, stating our objectives to the coaches, and you kind of believe it, but you don't, because you haven't done it before. So we're certainly, pretty
well, and look at this, guys. This is what we're pointing out to you. If you reskilled with let's say a degree or a trade, there's no way you'd be generating that sort of money in just 1 year. Like, especially if you're going back to a traditional degree, like Courtney, you know that space. And okay, you had to work your butts out, and there were some very late nights, or lots of late nights, Courtney, for you. Well done. So it must have been nice to get to the end of that year, and then you quit your job. So and obviously you two love working together. That's worked really well for you as well. We know that.
No, we do. We love it. We love it.
We complement each other. So we've done, especially now in the second year, we've done a lot of personality testing just to sort of fit our roles out and what we're good at, and lean into that, which has really helped us.
Yeah, it's been awesome to watch you both grow over these last 2 years. So let's now get into the exciting bit. So if you want to hear Derek and Courtney's full story, make sure you go and listen to the first podcast interview that we did with the guys when they were literally in the thick of that journey, and you've started hitting your first $15,000 months then, I think, when we recorded that. So today's mission, we want to make it public for all our community, so you all realize just the amazing achievement that these two were able to get in that first year, which is 160 grand, which is seriously impressive through very hard work and focus. Let's now look at year 2, like you started to allude to, Courtney, because there's been a lot of growth for you guys in year 2. So you've just completed year 2 with us on the Champions program. What do we share your exciting? No, let's ask it. What things have you done to continue to grow? Because obviously you've gone on to much bigger and better things in year 2, which we'll get to in a minute. But what some of the key things that you've focused on in year 2? Has there been any new developments there for you? Or was it just rinse and repeat?
Courtney's touched on a couple, but I think if, processes has been one, or if I summarize it by saying we're really in year 2, focus more on the business side of things. So we're really trying to, dial in our business, so it comes from everything from defining our own roles, as Courtney alluded to hiring better, to getting systems in place for our team, so then we can actually focus on the next phase of our growth of our business because our team are doing the right things, to, year 1 where I shouldn't use the word desperate, but you kind of are desperate to grow, and you're saying yes to everything. Whereas in year 2, we're starting to be more intentional with the types of clients and the types of businesses we want to work with. We did rebranding of our business so we can try to attract those clients. So year 2 has been more around the real treating our business as seriously as we can, according to where we want to go, without going too silly, but like looking ahead to where we want to get to with our business. And I feel like that's certainly helped us.
Hey, and guys, it's only year 2 yet. So, you guys are ultra high achievers and go-getters and you're blitzing it. Courtney, so on that important note, because you are high achievers and blitzing it, Courtney, what do you see as some of the things that you've done in year 2 that you think's made a difference?
Well, we've as part of our, we have monthly catch-ups every month. So we're sitting down, we're reviewing everything that we're doing, where we want to go. We do our quarterly 90-day goal setting. We've done our 5-10-year plan, and we sort of started to work back on what we need to do to get to that. So I think that's really helped us stay focused and really helped us knuckle down on how many clients we need to get to that. What do we need to be charging to get to that goal? How do we get there? So it's by having those conversations, and we're always talking about it and holding each other accountable, has really made us even more focused for year 2 to where we want to go.
And you found that. So I'll point out for our listeners, this is what we teach our champions to do. Liz and I have always done this in business. We get together every Monday and we plan out our week, but we're working backwards from our 5-year plan. And as Courtney just mentioned, you have a 5-year plan, a 2 to 3 year plan, and then you work in 90-day blocks and you achieve a hell of a lot. And you guys are the perfect example of this, guys. Thank you for being on the podcast today, because Courtney, it's obviously worked well for you this year, over the last 2 years, but particularly now too, I think, because you got the reps underway in the first year. So Courtney, it looks like it's worked really well. That mindset, do you call it mindset? That goal setting exercise?
Yeah, no, it's really been good for our mindset, and it's also holding ourselves accountable to things that we want to achieve and just having that there to guide us, because we do it gets busy, we get knuckled down into the weeds, but we can always come back to that to show us where we need to go and why we're doing what we're doing.
And on the busy bit, how busy are you? Is it still flat out? Is it? Be honest. This is good because we're going to talk about the actual result you're getting out of it. I want people to see. So if you're listening to this, and as you two know, across our community, there's a wide range of people with different goals. Some people want more semi-passive. Some people want to don't want to work the long hours. Some people want to work just 3 or 4 hours a day. Whatever. For you guys are really young, got a young family, you got the energy, so you're happy to work your butts out. And so that's my question to you this year too. Still going for it?
Oh, 100%. And I think not that we've overtly, tried to do it in this manner, but essentially I almost feel like if we look back at, like the amount of hours we put in per se, I kind of feel like, we've probably, even though we're 2 years in, we've probably done the equivalent of what people at year 3, 4, because that's probably, and that's not for everyone, by the way.
That's why you two are champion. Seriously, you guys are dead set legends, like champions. Sorry, I just had to throw that in there. Keep going, Derek. That's really good.
But that's it. I feel like, because we talk to other champions and we talk to lots of people in BNI, and for people who don't know, BNI is just networking, and I think people often overestimate how complicated things are, because they think, oh, you must have done something like super special, but we haven't done anything super special. We've just kind of followed the process. But then they'll overestimate how complicated it is, and they'll underestimate how many hours it takes, is my view on it. And so we've certainly, I think a lot of what we've done is because we've, maybe just spent more hours on it.
We're very committed and we're very obsessed with our business. I feel like,
and Courtney and Derek, I think, something you said before, Courtney, you two are committed as a couple to this as well. That's very powerful. Now, it's not to say you always have to be a couple to, this is, Derek and Courtney, for listening to this, Derek and Courtney are a unique case here and you're hearing they're they're putting in a massive effort. They have a big vision and they're really, really going for it. And they're just ticking so many boxes here. But I think it's important for you two as a couple. You guys have worked on this together so well. You're obviously in flow with each other. You clicked in really quickly with each other on this. And obviously, so Courtney, you pushing Derek, or Derek, you pushing Courtney? Who's like, well, it's
I
both.
think it's both. Like, yeah, like Derek's been really helpful for me for my mindset on where we can go.
Awesome.
But we really do balance each other out. 'Cause we've done so much, like I'm going to say we've done a lot of personality testing. So we're very similar, but there's parts of my personality that help Derek and there's other parts that help me. So
Yeah, I'm just impatient, so Court keeps me grounded. But the other thing too, like because we set financial goals, and Courts actually thinks bigger than me on that stuff. Like honestly,
Wow.
so
Go
yeah,
Court.
we're better off or worse.
Yeah.
Fuels the beast, so to speak. But I think
Ah.
for
So
other couples,
the silent driver behind it
the
on the
silent
finance
assassin or
side, Derek.
smiling
This is
assassin,
Yeah.
she is.
so
But
Derek,
no,
you're the sales machine.
Yep.
I do want to come back to one thing that you said. You were saying you're not doing anything. There's no inside secret here of what your strategy is. What's been your main strategy to get these results? Sorry for listeners. I should have got this out of Derek and Courtney before. But what have you really focused on to get these amazing results? What
So
main activities are you doing to get leads?
BNI is the probably half of what we do, and then the rest is referral. And now we're getting some organic through our social media and things. But I'd say we definitely wouldn't be here without e-business and Champions. That's not just a plug. Like literally, anyone that thinks that you're self-made, you just can't do it alone. So we wouldn't be able to do it without the coaches.
Yeah.
But then second is BNI for us.
Okay.
Yeah, and the main thing for BNI was it allowed us to get the reps in really early, build relationships, and so we've really grateful to have found that community too.
So you had no, like a lot of our champions, you had no business community before you started this. No
Zero. Yeah, knew no one who had done anything similar to what we had, or sorry, what we were attempting to do. So no.
Okay, cool. So out of the gate, you had no leads, you had no possible leads whatsoever for building websites for businesses. You just went all in on BNI, which is a business networking group.
Yeah.
And also our existing network,
I did post on Facebook. I think that our first major client I got from Facebook, my mum's group, that I posted saying, "Hey, we're doing this." I jumped the gun really early. I remember Derek saying to me, he's like, "I can't believe you've just done that." And I was like, "Why not? Like, let's see what comes out of it. I want our friends to know what we're doing." And
clients out of it.
We've got a client out of it, and she's
all right.
one of our biggest clients to this day. And
wow. Oh yeah. So you just did a post on Facebook. So today in year 2, what is your main strategy for driving leads? And I think you just said, but just say it again so everyone's clear. Have you evolved much, or what's your main strategy for growing this business?
Yeah, so BNI is still a big part of what we do. So I'm still heavily involved in BNI and trying to get more entrenched, in the broader network.
Yep. Go. And then
so that's one. We started our own paid ad strategy. We actually got a business development person in as well who's starting to open a few doors. So we're trying to get more tactical now with having a few different lead generation strategies plus organic and referral. Like I remember in one of my earlier coaching calls with Caleb, who's inspired us massively, and he was talking around, like when you start doing a really good job, you get referrals happening. In the first year, because we're so new, that didn't really happen. But in year 2, you start getting that happening too. So, and it's funny, like sometimes you're going far out, look, we've plateaued or, and then referrals come in or whatnot. But that's kind of like our things, BNI, referrals, of course, but then we're trying to get more intentional with business development and paid ad strategy now that we're starting to get clearer on who we're targeting.
So this will be going into year 3. So if you're listening to this and you're looking at the strategy the guys use just to get to year 2, it's mainly still been through networking. And I should point out that essentially amounts to what, Derek, face-to-face sales that you're basically doing there.
Yeah, exactly. Like For people who don't know the BNI network, essentially you are just meeting lots of other business owners at varying stages. Seems to be lots of younger business owners there too. So you can kind of like meet some really amazing people, and you're incentivized to help one another. So that's been really good for us.
You also, when you joined, like Derek became part of the leadership team with BNI and got, and that was another network that he could be part of. And then he's now also an ambassador. So that's also another BNI network that he is part of. So he goes to not just our chapter, but other chapters as well throughout his role, which has helped with our referral and our networking as well.
So to build your business within 2 years to what it's done, which we're going to share in just a minute, and it's impressive. Wait till you hear. But essentially, you've done massive networking. You've just hustled, that American term. You've just been out there on the street, literally talking to people. There's no inside secrets beyond that. Just now in this year, you're just starting to go to the next level. You're going to start a bit of paid, but also you've noticed in the second year, and I will make a special comment on this, the referrals now are starting to come. So the referrals didn't happen in the first year. That's really interesting. By the way, all the coaches found that as well. And I know you've done lots of, like you mentioned, you've done lots of coaching calls with Caleb. Caleb and Jen are legends, in our community, as especially being our head coach, but also that's, he's got this awesome lifestyle business where I think it's mostly fed by referrals now. But we saw the same with Pete and Renee. That's when their business took off once the referrals came in. And of course, Mission Avenue, who I know inspired you guys to awesome, but they didn't get referrals really in the first, no one gets referrals in the first year. You've got to build on that. And I'll point this out as a coaching call for everyone and for you too included. What do most people do in their first year? And maybe you're guilty of this if you're listening to this, not Derek and Courtney, but if it doesn't work in your first year, what do most people do? They give up. Okay. If you stick at it, that's often the tipping point. It's in the second and third year when things really take off. And this is what's happened for you two. And so hats off to you. You've hit the inflection point now, because let's share publicly what another record set here in your second year. What sort of months are you starting to have, guys? Like talk to us dollars wise. You don't have to give us specifics or anything like that, but we know here. I will point out something before you answer. I just want to point out a really nice little coaching call thing for our new listeners. Once you start hitting $30,000 recurring revenues consistently, 30,000 is basically you are sitting on a 7-figure asset. That's $1 million business asset. So that's the dream in business, whether it's bricks and mortar or online businesses, doesn't matter. And that's always the goal for our clients here at the eBusiness Institute. We love to get them, quitting their jobs and everything, but ideally it's about creating a valuable asset for your family, $1 million plus, right? So the goal is to go for that 30 grand a month. And we just heard off you, Courtney. He's cool, Derek. I'm presuming was that Courtney's goal?
Yes, definitely. So we're now.
And did you set that at the end of year one to hit that? So at the end of year one, you were hitting $15,000 months. So Courtney, did you set a goal in year two to hit that 30K?
Yeah, I actually wanted to triple, so we doubled. But yeah, we have we're also hitting. We have had $50,000 months, So yeah.
Awesome. So were you inspired by Mission Avenue, who are hitting those $100,000 months? But you said, I'm not waiting till year 3 or 4. You're going to do it in year 2.
Yeah.
You're actually, and this calendar year is not finished, but we've got a long way to go. Court wanted to, I'm pretty sure if we look back, you wanted to hit 6 figures a month by the end of this year. And I thought that was a little bit bullish.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day,
how's it look? You're sounding very humble about it all, but how's the goal setting going there? How well are you on path towards that?
Yeah, we're tracking okay. Yeah. So we've got further than what I thought we would get at the end of the year by wherever we are now, 3/4 of the way through. So it's pleasing.
And congratulations, guys, because I think, Courtney, you just let it slip there. You are already starting to hit those $50,000 months, aren't you?
Yeah.
So again, do we need another Champions Cup for second years? I don't know here, because you guys I do want to celebrate this. This is what such a, and now I want to point out again for listeners, these guys, as you can see, are absolutely going for this. They are so focused on the goal, so driven, which is why I love coaching you guys and having you as coaches now in the E-Business Institute as well, which is another thing that we'll announce. But you guys have exceeded the goal, Courtney. Well done. So you've gone past the 30 grand a month. You're starting to hit $50,000. Now that's not regular or anything just yet. So we will point that out. But here's what I want to point out. Mission accomplished, guys. You've nailed it. You're hitting these $30,000 months. So within 2 years, you guys have created a 7-figure asset. I don't know if you've thought about this. So you took a punt 2 years ago to quit your jobs. Well, Courtney, it was a year ago for you to quit your job. You took a punt. Where else could you, within 2 years, create enough money to pay off your house? Because you've heard at our private boot camps where we get the top brokers, the world brokers to come in, and you've heard them say, once you're hitting that 30 grand, you're pretty much guaranteed you're sitting on a 7-figure asset, right? So within 2 years, and I want to point out, guys, you started out with $0, no debt. You haven't had that. This is not like your real, and I know you guys own real estate and stuff, but if you didn't, this is your efforts. Okay, so you had to take a punt and quit your job. And by the way, I'm not saying for anyone listening to this to quit your job. Everyone's situation is different. But for you two, this is mind blowing, isn't it? Liz and I love this sort of stuff. Like Liz is so excited. Where else could you do that? Like Liz said, could you even build a house in?
And it's like, no, and thank you for that. And I think why we love it too, and listening to you say that, because no capital outlay, it's not like, if you wanted to do property developing or something like that, and you're forking out a lot of, and then, I think about back in corporate, I might have got a couple of 10% pay rises a year working your tail off. Court was getting CPI every year for 10 years,
Yeah, that's exciting.
So that's where it becomes, like quite easy for us to get passionate about it and go hard when you start kind of seeing those results, right?
Yeah, I think it's like having control. Like we're in control of our future and our destiny and on what we want to achieve, and we're controlling that. We're in charge. We're in the driver's seat. So
and that's awesome. And for your family, and like Liz and I say to you guys, this is also giving you choices in life, and that's what, for our new listeners, that's what I want you to hear. This is the power of business, by the way. Especially if you can achieve the results that these guys, that Derek and Courtney have achieved. Like I do want to point out now, guys, no matter what happens here, you two have got choices now, right? You can go back to your job if you want, but like you just said, Derek, good luck trying to get your CPI or your 5% every year. And you think about too, anyone listening, think of your last 2 years. Is the work that you've put into your job going to give you $1 million asset after 2 years? No, not only are you guys getting an income, you're getting cash flow here and you're building a business, but if you decide to walk away tomorrow, you can at least sell up for $1 million, right? So pretty darn cool. This is, in my opinion, guys, and I want to celebrate this. I do mean this. I really want to celebrate with you here. This is the perfect example. You two are the perfect example what can be achieved in any business if you nail it and you give your all at it. And I think you two have brought in a perfect blending of not only hard ass effort, and one of my mentors has been Arnold Schwarzenegger. I just love stuff. You two are machines, and I really, really appreciate that. I love seeing that happen. But you've also brought in my other favorite part, which is the mindset bit. Go Court. Or the two of you have worked hard on that and vision setting, and it's just paid off. Okay. And you're only at the beginning of your journey. Like 2 years is nothing in business. Most businesses that I used to, in bricks and mortar businesses, most businesses don't get success like this till year 10 and beyond. I don't care what anyone says. I've valued thousands of businesses, looked at them, particularly manufacturing and wholesale, anything with physical inventory. You guys need to pat yourselves on the back. This is mind blowing. Within 2 years to be generating those sorts of revenues, building something that's family friendly, which I do want to address briefly in a minute because you're working your butts out. We'll have a look at that. But more importantly, you got options, you got choices now. 7-figure asset. Man, this podcast is turning into a celebration for you both. There you go.
No, cheers.
Well done.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It is super cool. So let's have a look at, because I just mentioned something like, someone like Arnold Schwarzenegger and all of us in business, and Liz and I and all of us in business, typically your business, I see business owners like us, things take off when you have a family, right?
Yeah.
So have you found, so you guys have got young kids, it's also the trickiest part in life, isn't it? Because there's the guilt thing, especially from you, Court, being a mum
Mhm.
and all that sort of stuff. So it's when your business takes off, it's when you got the most energy in life. You want to work your butts out like you are. How's it gone with the family thing? Like, what impact has it had? What can we share for other young couples like you starting out?
Yeah, like I feel like, to be honest, I probably spend more time with the kids now than I did
Oh,
working my 9 till 5 job,
okay.
because
Yep.
I'm very disciplined with my time. Derek and I have sort of worked out a way of working. He'll do drop off, I'll do pick up. So I'm getting 7:30 till 2 I'm working, and then I pick up the kids
Right.
at 2,
Yep.
spend afternoon, evening, dinner, they go to bed, and then if I've got anything else that I need to do, I'll jump back online for a few hours. Um, so it's freed me up to be able to do that, spend the after, pick up my kids from
Cool.
school, drop them off. School holidays, like we're around at school, like Noah's just started school, he's in prep,
Yeah.
so around
I
at
forgot
school.
that. Yeah, you're always around. Yeah, because you two work from
Yeah,
home. Yep.
yeah.
That correct? Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
That's
Um,
cool. Yeah,
yeah.
so you get all the full school holidays. You don't have to ask any boss or whatever.
No, yeah, exactly. And then going to events like, we can pop down to the school events.
Yep.
Hughie, who's at daycare, went like he's at daycare a couple of days a week, like managing that as well. Like it's just, I feel like it's a big, we're working hard, but it's also opened a lot of doors for us
Yeah,
with our
still the
family
freedom,
time.
like yeah,
Yeah.
go on holidays, take the kids, work on holidays, take the laptops, like
Yep.
yeah. So
And that's what you have to do. That's cool. So
yeah,
yeah, so for you, Derek, yeah, what's it feel like as a new dad, and
yeah.
working still hard, but yeah,
Oh,
that's all you're managing that fine.
yeah, and speaking to old colleagues at similar age to myself and similar age kids,
Right.
like exactly what Court said. Here we are, we're working from home, we can do stuff. I'm not leaving at 6 a.m. to navigate CBD traffic and all that, and coming
Right.
back after they're asleep. So yeah, it's not easy, but we definitely have a way better balance of family time as well,
Yeah.
other than also building the
Yeah.
asset at the same time.
Yeah. And having said that, we are quite disciplined in how we spend our time um,
Yeah.
as
Yeah,
Yeah,
well.
you
we
should
don't
be.
always get it right, but we're
Yeah.
getting better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's something you learn, and that's really important. And thank you, Court. That's a really good thing to point out for all our listeners, isn't it? These guys are doing this by intention. I do want to point that out. This is not just haphazard or whatever. So you guys are very intentional about how you manage your time. You're very protective of it, particularly because you
Hmm.
do have a young family. And as a result, isn't it funny? Through discipline, we get freedom. That's
Yeah.
what Liz
100%.
and I
Yeah.
found all those years ago. And you read that in, well, I learned that off Arnold Schwarzenegger. He used to say it's through actual full-on discipline that you ultimately get total freedom in life. And look at you two.
Yeah.
Casey,
Love
yeah,
that. Yeah.
that's
Love
really,
that.
really cool. So, guys, the exciting part too is you're about to enter year 3 of your journey, right? So, year 1 and year 2, mission accomplished for the two of you. You've ticked off all your goals. You've actually exceeded Derek's goals, Court. So that's impressive. Financial goals, well done.
Yeah.
Go, Courtney, too. So year 1 and 2, mission accomplished. What's the new exciting phase that you're moving into? Because I know there is a new exciting phase that you're moving into with this business in terms of growing the business further. So you're still going to do rinse and repeat what's
Yep.
been working. You just about start a little bit of paid, a little bit of
Yep.
getting great referrals, a little bit of social media stuff. But what's the new big focus too for year 3? Because it's something we're very passionate about teaching here at eBusiness Institute, particularly this year as well.
Yeah. Acquisitions. So,
Yep.
you know, um, yeah, that popped up with the coaching call with yourself, and obviously it's popped up when we hear other amazing stories as well, inspired through the community. But I've joined as many business brokerage firm, contact lists as I can over the last 6 months.
Good.
Again, putting the feelers out there through our BNI networks, and so while it's not something that we're rushing towards, we've got some capital now put aside where if the right opportunity comes along to acquire a business to help fast track our growth, we'll take that with both hands. So
Mhm.
that's kind of like one of our big
Awesome.
goals for the next 6 to 12 months.
Yeah, so and I should point out for our listeners, Derek's talking about acquiring another digital agency, so growth by acquisition. So it's a common corporate or high net worth strategy, which is what Liz and I used to do many years ago, and we used to help ultra high net worths do exactly this, is buy by acquisitions other like-minded businesses. So instead of having to go out and hunt for sales, we just buy in other businesses and bolt them on. And in particular, like for you guys, like we're teaching you guys, the exciting part is that what are you finding out? There's lots of people retiring. There's lots of opportunities to choose from, isn't there?
Yeah. And like anything, because you don't know what you don't know. So there's been lots of learnings just through a few opportunities that have come through the door. There's probably only one that, I felt like so far, if I'd had my time again, I would have loved to kind of be a bit more aggressive. But at the end of the day, I'm sure there'll be other opportunities come through. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's been good.
And now too, because of the knowledge that because here at eBusiness, we teach how to buy and sell online businesses or agencies. So you're getting good ideas on how to do due diligence and understanding the numbers. And
Yep.
is it is it an eye opener because you both came from corporate? Is it an eye opener what Liz and I have taught you and shown you how quickly it can add to your wealth? Like here,
Oh man.
here you are
Yeah.
talking about your goals, Court, of hitting 100K a month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Had you ever thought of that?
No,
I,
I mean, yes, like we're dreamers,
Yeah.
we've got big dreams, but you don't realize like how attainable it is. So I remember when we, hit our first 10 grand months and then you're like, man, like how do we even, wrap our heads around, tripling that or whatever, and so it's like that through. But the other thing with the looking at the businesses, which I think you mentioned to us, Matt, but now we're starting to really understand is, it's actually helped us also learn about how to position our own business because,
Yes.
business health wise, because you see some businesses that are making, like lots of money top line, but then,
Yep.
the
yeah.
loss making kind of thing. So it's
Like
helped us.
that one we looked at. So I did
Yeah.
for listeners, I did a due diligence review with Derek and Court the other day. And yeah, top line, the sales look great, but he's actually, we
Loss
all
making,
figured
yeah.
out he's actually working at a loss and what the hell's going on here? Yeah.
So
So
we've actually made a few changes to our
Yeah.
own business, is my
yeah,
point, like based on some of the
Yeah.
other ones
that's
that we've seen. So no, it's
well,
been cool.
that's a really good lesson, Derek. Thank you for bringing it up. So regulars in our community know we teach you to do that by going on all the broker sites and looking at website businesses for sale. It's the same thing whether you own an online business or digital agency, whatever. By doing regular due diligence, you'll get so many cool ideas for your own business. It's not, yeah, okay. It takes a chunk of time to do this. Really, that's your only investment. Again, this is $0 down. Look what you're learning just through putting aside a few more hours late in the evening after the kids have gone to bed. But
Yeah.
it's paying off in spades in your own business. And for anyone listening, I highly recommend you do that. It is the most fascinating thing ever to go and sticky beak at other people's businesses, whether they're successful or not.
Yeah.
You get some great ideas. But it's just so cool, isn't it? Seeing the opportunities. And when you do that, I love doing the final numbers and going, when you find the good ones that do have a high profit, you go, man, if I buy that, there's an extra 100K a year straight away
Yeah.
on my bottom line. Now we multiply that by 3 or 4. Okay, now we're talking into the millions just for buying something in six figures. That is
Yeah.
how cool is
I
that
love it.
leverage
Yeah.
onto
Amazing.
and you just bolting in your existing systems, which you've spent the last 2 years, sorry, the last year in your year two. I
Yep.
will go back to that for anyone listening here. This is why it's worth setting out a vision for your next 2, 3, and 5 years. So Derek and Court are following it precisely what we teach. So they've first year's learning, still made 160 grand. Well done, guys. Second year, you're refining all your systems and you're also been working on your vision, getting it bigger. And third year now is full on growth. And
Yep.
you're going to reap the rewards of setting up all those systems in your second year. So, guys, this has been super, super cool, super inspirational. You can hear it in my voice. I love it. You guys are like the seriously well-deserved Champions Cup winners here. I want to say a sincere big thank you for coming along today and massive congratulations. And we're really looking forward to hearing what you guys get up to in the next year.
Yeah. No, cheers.
No,
Yeah.
thank you so much. Yeah.
We're I know we always say it, but we're just, so blessed and grateful that we found, the Business Institute and we
Thank you.
bet on ourselves, but we're around, like people like yourself and the community and the coaches, Yeah, it's
And
such a
now,
fun journey,
guys,
mate.
you guys are part of that. So, Derek, you
Yep.
can make the announcement. You are officially
Yeah.
one of our coaches now here at E-Business Institute. Woohoo!
Yeah. No, cheers. I can't wait.
Yeah,
Can't wait. Like,
looking forward
yeah,
to it.
that's going to be
These
a fun
guys
year.
are super busy, so the way they can dial in some time is by becoming coaches with us, and they allocate a section of their week towards helping our clients. And these, you've heard it here, these guys are super successful in what they do. And if you're interested in hearing more about their first year, do make sure you go and listen to the original podcast that we did with the guys. We'll put a link in the show notes for it. And I do want to say a big thank you, guys, again for coming along and sharing your story today. That was just awesome. Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Cheers, Matt. Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks again.